to first ever Yarn Diaries. Hello my dear people, so this is the first episode of a new series that I'm starting, which is going to be Yarn Diaries or Yarn Diaries. Basically this will cover both my crochet and my knitting projects, and you know, my knitting journey as well, since I'm fairly new to knitting. So a little bit of a background: I have been crocheting for a long while now. I think I've started crocheting around the same time that I kind of also started doing sewing and dressmaking, and that was during the pandemic, so back in 2020, 2021. And it's only recently that I've actually been taking up knitting. I did try to do knitting beforehand, and then I think I kind of got intimidated by the whole thing, and I kind of thought that it's a little bit too complicated for me, so I kind of dropped it and then just stuck with crochet. But now I kind of went to try it out again, and I kind of enjoyed it. It's kind of it's a good kind of year-long project that I can do. So for 2026, my goal for this year is to focus a little bit more on my crochet and my knitting, and especially improving the skills, so that I can create more projects, maybe tackle a little bit more complicated projects. But for now I'm going to stick with the simple ones that I can do. The only issues that I've had since I started crocheting even is basically my attention span. I do have a lot of work in progress projects, and recently because I did have a break with all of my sewing, all of my crochet, all of my knitting, everything, because I was dealing with some personal changes in my life as well as my health changes. So I think last 2 months ago, back in like late January, I did have I had to undergo like a little bit of a surgery just to take my gallbladder out. It's a very simple procedure, nothing too major, but it did put me out for quite a while, for a couple of weeks, and now I'm kind of on the tail end of my recovery, so I should be getting back up and running soon. But the whole time that I was during my recovery, where I couldn't really much do anything, I decided I'm going to take up crochet and knitting again to see what I can do. And I was just faced with all of my work in progress projects. So since then, since January, February, I have since tackled quite a lot of my work in progress projects. So the first project that I decided to tackle is actually the granny square blanket. It's actually this one. So it's not gonna fit in the frame. Okay, this one is all the little granny squares that, and then you just put them all together. This was a practice granny square basically, and the idea for this one initially was this was going to be like a huge blanket that I'm gonna put together, and then I might gift it to my sister, or I might just keep it at home, like, you know, for guests and everything. But I kind of lost traction towards the end, and also I kind of got bored with doing the same granny square pattern over and over again, and you have to block it and everything. And this one was actually started like 2 years ago or something, and it's just been a work in progress project for such a long time. And I decided, you know what, I need to finish this. I just need to finish this. So instead of a huge blanket that I initially planned, this is now a lap blanket, which is very, very perfect for a cozy night when I just want to do knitting, either in my bed or at the sofa while I'm watching TV, which actually what I did when I was finishing off the other work in progress projects that I've had, and also starting new ones. Second of which is actually this vest. It's actually the crocheted vest that I started and was able to finish within 2 weeks. Well, a week technically, because I was just at the sofa. I was actually crocheting this vest while I was watching the Winter Olympics, and it was a perfect kind of setting. So this one is actually crocheted all throughout. So I crocheted this one as one panel, and it's actually at the back here. Oops, I don't know if you can see this, but it's at the back here where I actually joined them all together, and then I just did a basic kind of simple well, not really ribbing but edging on the neckline and on the arms. I was initially planning on making sleeves out of this, but essentially I ran out of yarn, and also because the initial reason that I actually even made this vest in the first place is because I did have this yarn. This yarn is actually Feels Like Alpaca by Abbey Road, and I had a couple of this yarn, and I just wanted to finish it all off because I wasn't going to use it for anything else. So I just kind of really wanted to get rid of this yarn, so I decided to make this. The fit for this one isn't the best, like it's good like the rest of this, but the ribbing underneath here, which is just a little small part in here, is a little bit tight, so I do need to work on that one. So yeah, that's back to the drawing board. Well, not really back to the drawing board, but I do need to tweak it a little bit. So I'm gonna get my blanket back up again. And the third project that I'm actually doing, and this is the one that I started recently, was to actually create a crocheted bag. So I actually have it here. So this one, again, this is one of those projects that I've started because I wanted to finish off quite a lot of my yarns. So basically I have this. These are some of the yarn collections that I have, and they have been sitting there for years and years and years. So I do need to kind of finish it all off before I actually buy new ones, and trust me, I am tempted to just keep buying new yarns and just have them sitting in here until I have no more space. But yes, so this one I actually used this. This is Abbey Road Freedom on the body part. So from where the color change is up to here, that's actually the Abbey Road Freedom. The bottom part I use a different yarn, but it's still by Abbey Road. I think it's Kung Fu Cotton, which is a thicker type kind of like yarn, so it kind of gives it a little bit more of a sturdy base, and then the rest I can just crochet with this softer yarn. I think because it's a different kind of yarn weight to the Kung Fu Cotton. So yes, hopefully with this one I will be able to actually create a tote bag, and I am planning to have it lined, and yeah, it's still a work in progress. It will be self-drafted, and I am actually planning on putting in the crochet pattern for this one, for this bag itself, onto my blog.
when it's you and me. It's a dream when it's you and me. It's a dream. We're living a dream. We're living a dream. Oh, we're living a dream. We're living a dream. We're living a dream.
So the project, my knitting project for this year will be a striped sweater, um, which will have both color blocking, and also it will also give me practice on doing sleeves, like knitting sleeves and everything. I've actually chosen this one. So this is the classic striped sweater. So the color blocking is changing just 2 colors basically. I don't want to go complicated with this one, but I kind of feel like this is a nice, simple, easy project for me to do, you know, as a beginner. And the yarn that I'm gonna be using for this one is actually this yarn. So this is the Wild Earth Yarns. I'm not sure if you can see this properly. So Wild Earth Yarns Eden 8 ply. This is going to be the main color. So it's the white. White is the white. Yes. So the great thing about this yarn is that I've actually gotten this like 2 years ago. Same time that I started this project, but mid 2 years ago. I actually got this in New Zealand. There was this little cute kind of like arts and crafts store in Queenstown, because my family went there for a ski holiday, and I was just walking around the place because I wanted to explore, and also it's a great way to kind of like explore like a small town. Queenstown apparently is a very small town, which is I love it. And it was kind of this, and I found this kind of arts and crafts store which sells not just yarns, but then they also sell like other knickknacks and everything, like pottery, like ceramic pieces, and then other kind of like gifts, ideas and stuff like that. But I mainly went there just for the yarn, and I just kept coming back there to that store, and I actually bought like a whole bunch of this yarn with the intention of actually crocheting something out of this, but I never really got around to it because it was one of those, these were one of those yarns where it just felt so nice that I am very reluctant to use it onto like some like simple project that I felt like I'm gonna frog over and over again and it's not gonna get used. So I kind of wanted to save this particular yarn for something, for like a project that I know that I'm gonna be using, that I'm gonna be love using on an everyday. So I will be using it for this sweater because I am hopefully going to be using this every day. I love my sweaters. And for the second color for that striped sweater, I had a debate on what kind of color I will lean to. So I was either gonna do this one. This is Keepsake Fiber Co yarn. This is actually merino wool. This one is 100% pull watt wool. So I kind of feel like since these are both wools, they can go together. I do love the blue with this one. My second option was this. It's from the same brand. It's still like the Wild Earth Yarns, same brand, but it's green, but it is a different ply, so I'm just not sure how that's gonna work. But I think I prefer the blue for now because I just love the feel of it. So for now, I've been doing swatches. So I've actually just created like a swatch. I have to block this. I haven't blocked any of these swatches yet, but I have created like a swatch of the blue yarn. I'm actually still in the progress of making a swatch for this white one, so that will be done soon. And I have made a swatch for this green one, although I do have a alternative which is a similar weight to this white one that is also green. I think it's this one. I actually don't remember where I got it. I think I got this one at Path. I have to find the label for this one, for this yarn, because I do not remember, but I know that it is also an 8 ply, same, but I think this one is more of an acrylic kind of feel. That's why I wanted to go with the blue one, because it's similar kind of material as the white. And I have made a swatch of this speckled green, so this one is quite nice, but it's just more of a rougher feel. I kind of wanted a softer feel for my sweater, so yeah.
Then I thought, always hoped for, always dreamt of something like this, better than I thought. Take every moment, every detail, and memorize it better than I thought. Always hoped for, always dreamt of something like this, better than I thought. When it's you and me, it's a dream. When it's you and me, it's a dream.
The crochet project plans that I have for 2026 is not going to be a big one. I am still planning to continue this tote bag, so I want to finish this off, hopefully before my Philippines trip, so that I can actually bring this with me and then I can use it while I'm over there. But another ideas that I have with my crochet plans is to also just work on a couple of the bag ideas that I had last year. I did do a mock-up of like the bucket bags, but they didn't really work out, so I frogged that project, and I just want to go back to the drawing board and actually tweak that pattern and see if I can improve on it. I don't know yet. It's all up in the air, so I don't even know if I'm gonna continue with that bucket bag pattern, but we'll see. But other than that, I do plan on actually doing a little bit more amigurumi, because I just kind of enjoyed making them the last time, but I think it's just because I've been busy that I didn't really have time. And also I do still have quite a bit of the stuffed toy stuffing, like the little cotton batting like for stuffed toys that I really want to use up, because this is my craft space and it is currently filled to the brim, and I kind of need to start destashing a lot of my stash, and it's not just the yarns that I have behind me, but also to my left that you can't see, that is off camera. I also have a lot of fabrics. I have like a tub full of winter fabrics or thicker fabrics, and then I also have like a cabinet full of like all the other fabrics that I have. And also I have some of these bins up here. I think one of them over there, the blue one over there, is actually full of the sheer lightweight, like lacy fabrics that I have. And it's just a lot of fabrics, and I do need to start destashing stuff before I can start making new ones. I think I got a little too optimistic to begin with on my sewing plans and everything, because I wanted to make a whole bunch of stuff. So that's basically my plans for so far for 2026, especially the first half of 2026, is the classic striped sweater, and also completing some of my already started crochet projects, and maybe practicing a little bit more on my amigurumi. I do have a couple of like patterns. I will be following like already made patterns from the internet or from books. I do have a couple of like amigurumi pattern books. I think they're all in here. I got my books in here, and hopefully I could get a little bit more practice. And also alongside my crochet and my knit, I am actually, well, technically restarting Sew With Me videos. I haven't done it in a while now because I have been busy, not just with my personal life, which I've said before. I did have quite a few changes in my personal life, but also I've also been very busy with work. I just basically did not give me time to actually pursue like any of my hobbies at all last year. I haven't really done anything last year except for work and, you know, deal with all the personal stuff that's been happening, which has been a little bit overwhelming. So hopefully this year it's going to be a little bit more calmer, although it has not been a very great start for this year with my health and the surgery that I just had to do. But hopefully that is the only major thing that I'm gonna have to face this year, and the rest of the year will probably, or hopefully, fingers crossed, that is gonna taper off to something more calmer, so that I can actually get back into, you know, all of these things that brings me joy, and that helps me de-stress essentially, while also progressing both in like my work life as well as my personal life and everything. So hopefully no more dramas, no more issues. 2026, I need this to be smooth.
It's in your eyes, there's nothing